When we feel truly self-empowered more often than not, we do feel we are ready to take charge of our destiny. And it does involve making positive choices. And it does involve taking action to advance. And it does involve being confident in your ability to make and execute decisions. And it does sometimes involve faking it when we don't feel that way. Because this doesn't mean we're going to feel and think perfectly all the time. It'd be great if we did, but that's not real life. Quite the contrary. We will have those up and downs because we're human. However, when we take time to self-reflect in healthy ways, noticing the good, not just the times that we have fallen, but the times that we've gotten back up, now we understand our strengths. Now we can work from that place of, oh yeah, I've been here before. Hi, welcome back to Soul Speak. I'm Meg Michaelson. Thank you for being here. We have in the past talked about how we can get from an apathetic state to an empowered state, from a low-level vibration to a higher level vibration. And as we're all learning, that takes mindfulness, that takes time. It can be done. It's meant to be done. Sometimes it can be done really quickly with effort and perseverance. It always will require effort and perseverance. Might be easy one day and then so much harder another. That's part of life, and we want to get used to that. The roll in, the roll out. Something that I was listening to said we only do things right about 30% of the time. And the rest of the time, we're trying to correct what we've done that is not right. So we want to give ourselves some leeway here because this is all about the school of learning. And we get those hard knocks, absolutely. So as we're moving from being in that low-level vibration to managing and staying in a higher level vibration more often, again, remember, with effort and perseverance, that is part of this roller coaster of life. And it can be done. It's meant to be done. And now we're going to go up even another level. We are not just in the, I have enough energy to get out the door. I have enough energy to make the phone call. But now it's, I have enough energy to start going after my dreams. So we want to go back and remind ourselves of all the times in our life we were able to move our energy up. Keep that in the forefront because that's what we need to do to get from the middle level to the higher level. That's life and really common. So try not to give in to the low feels about that. Try to remind yourself of all the times you were able to move quickly from one state of emotion to another. Remembering those times is really key. And a lot of people are in that state that they want to evolve more. They are ready to go higher on that vibrational scale. So how do we rev that up? From being in that state of lower empowerment to a medium empowerment to a higher level state of empowerment, to that state that we can keep it going for more days than not. That state where we can feel safe enough to take healthy risks. So we can begin taking those bigger action steps towards our goal. And remember, this is a lifelong journey. So you'll have the ups and downs with it. So how can we get back to an empowered state to gain enough strength to take that one risk that I keep putting on hold? Because right now I don't feel strong enough to do it. What do I need to do to get to that place where I feel strong enough to do even that one thing? When we feel truly self-empowered more often than not, we do feel we are ready to take charge of our destiny. And it does involve making positive choices. And it does involve taking action to advance. And it does involve being confident in your ability to make and execute decisions. And it does sometimes involve faking it when we don't feel that way. Because this doesn't mean we're going to feel and think perfectly all the time. It'd be great if we did, but that's not real life. Quite the contrary. We will have those up and downs because we're human. However, when we take time to self-reflect in healthy ways, noticing the good, not just the times that we have fallen, but the times that we've gotten back up, now we understand our strengths. Now we can work from that place of, oh yeah, I've been here before. And then we are at that vibrational level where the universe starts bringing people in. We can find people or ways to work through our weaknesses. And it might become easier to stay motivated, to learn, to achieve. You'll notice, all on a scale, because every day is different. Absolutely, some days I feel that old pattern of, I just can't do this anymore. That's normal. It's normal that we feel that way for moments. But when we commit to the path, when we say, I am going to stay here for the long haul and get this done, even when life feels tumultuous, that's when we create a life that feels so much more connected to our purpose, and all the people start coming in that we need. That's when we feel like our highest potential is bringing us to that state of, I've got this. And we feel zestier. Our energy level goes up. Today, we're going to go through about 10 ways to feel that greater strength so we can go after those things we dream about. Number 1, get clear on what you want. It is important to have a goal or a dream that is strong enough to get you to take the action, even when you feel like you can't anymore, where that why overpowers the what. What's the difference? What's the use? If you have a strong enough why, you can overcome any what, because those whats are coming. They're always part of our life. What are some of the whats? Anything that might get in our way. Anything that gets that sabotorial thinking at the forefront. So we have to have that goal or dream. It can be big or small. It can be getting in shape, exercising more, making creative time, learning to eat healthier. All of that includes action. It includes determination. So we have to have that why. Years ago, I was in sales, and we were taught early on having a why. What's my why in order for me to keep making my sales goal? And now as a single mom, I have felt and still feel bound and determined to show my kids that regardless of hardships and challenges, and there have been many, just like you guys, that we have a choice. And that choice for me has been, I will not quit. I will persevere. So we can persevere. And it does take action, and it does take dedication. That's a big part of my why, that I want to live to show my kids anything can be done. Another part of my why is that I believe with all my heart that I came into this world to make the world a better place. I know that sounds really corny, but it's so true. I came in to help myself, to learn this, and then learn to support others, that we are truly able to get to a state of true empowerment without taking the power away from another. That has become my why, and that gets me through the tough times. So what is your why? Gotta have a strong why to get you through all of those whats that are going to get in your way. Remember, we're so much bigger than the challenging circumstances, even when, and especially when we dip back into the hopeless. Now we got to go back to those steps to get ourselves out of the apathy, into the middle ground, so now we can get up to this higher level ground. Remember that if we have an idea and inspiration, it came from our higher selves or a higher power. It came for us. It came for you specifically. You can do it. And that's the why. That's what was gifted to you. It might take a long while. It might take a lot of effort. It might have bumps and hurdles. All of this is part of growing our strength of self so we can do that next great thing, whatever that great thing is to you. Doesn't have to be a save the world mentality, but anything we do that puts us in alignment with the beautiful goals, those inspirations, they do help the world. Each moment creates more strength if we view it that way. No challenge is meant to take us down. It is truly meant to grow us. Number 2, once we get the why, so we can get away from all those sabotorial thoughts, get back on that strength platform, we want to make sure we're connecting with others that will legitimately support us. What dream or goal have you let go of because you were counting on somebody to support you and they didn't? Maybe they even criticize that goal. And then what happens to your energy? We plummet. We feel bad. We feel that, oh, I can't do it. When we're in those lower states, it can get back down, get back up, get back down, get back up. Someone I know wrote a book and they showed it to their parents. And their parents weren't receiving that book well. So that person just put the book back on the shelf. Why? Because they were hoping to get that support, that acknowledgement from someone that was important to them. That's not always what happens, unfortunately. Sometimes those people that we thought were our support team, they might be our support team in other ways, but they might not be the support team for this particular situation, for this particular goal. They might not show interest or excitement, or maybe they even are a little critical. So we lose our steam and we don't move to the next step, going after the publishers or self-publishing, if that's the book, right? We let the book sit on the shelf instead of saying, I am doing this for me, not for you. So we got to get the right support team. We have to connect with the people that are going to say, yeah, you got this, you do it. We want to get back to that why, the reason. Why am I taking this risk? Why is this so important to me? And then we can really start moving into that kick-ass life. But we got to have that. We're doing this because we have an inspiration. And we might be doing it to help others for whatever reason. But it's still our thing. We've got to keep it with that. This is important to me, and this is why. It's my commitment to me. It's my commitment to my soul contract. So spending time with others that are trying to move forward with that same goal, that they are doing something that is for them. And when you spend time with others that are trying to move forward with that consistency, with that determination, with perseverance, you will have much more strength. So join with others to help you stay on task with your goal or goals. And it is truly vital to connect with others in this way. Have your support team there. And you can still have the other support. It doesn't mean leave your family if your family's supporting you in other ways. But we don't have to tell everybody everything. If we've got a big dream, or even a dream that we don't feel totally comfortable with, we get to keep it close to ourselves and share it with a few people. But get those connections going, whether that's a new job, a new relationship, a new venture, a new look, physical goals, a move somewhere, a motorcycle. We're stronger when we have support. Pairs, a few friends, one friend, small groups. If the group gets too big, it's okay, but you might get lost. So find support within that group. A woman that I just started working with a little while ago really wanted to change her life. She really wanted to change how she viewed herself in that shadow way for too long, that she just wasn't powerful enough. She started signing up for classes that were about self-empowerment, that were about, you can do this. She started signing up for classes at Well House. And if she keeps going, if she keeps connecting to people, if she keeps reaching out to those new friends that are going to support her or those new classmates, then the new tribe starts to form. And what happens? You feel much stronger. You feel better about yourself. So connecting with supportive people is huge when you want to go from a middle level to a higher vibrational level on a longer term scale. Number 3, take action and finish something. Anything you've been putting off, whether you have a messy office or a messy room or you have a messy basement, you need more organization, less clutter. You need to eat healthier or go to the grocery store or have groceries delivered. Maybe you've got to balance your checkbook or meal plan. Or maybe it's making a phone call that you've been putting off. Maybe it's writing a list every day. Think of something right now that drains you. For me, it was tax prep. I've gotten this habit for years that the last thing I do is my tax prep. And every year I say I'm going to get better with it. And every year I procrastinate. I don't know why, but that drains me. It's not that I'm afraid of numbers. It just drains me. It's not what brings me joy. So I put it off way longer than I should. And then it's last minute and it's stressful. What does that do to my energy level every time I think about it? It's like, ugh. I might even go, ugh. I might have that groan because it's getting in my way of mind expansion, of going after the things that bring me joy. And so we have to do those things that are draining our mind. Maybe not everything in one day, but if you have a messy office or a messy room and you're noticing it's causing you to go, bleh, then take care of it. Then take care of that. Take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Get it done. Watch how your mind stretches. Remember that second chakra, hip to hip, lower back, lower belly, that's where we create. And that's the balance of work and play. So when we are not in balance, it gets stuck here in the fifth chakra, the throat, the neck, the jaw. That area, the throat, the neck, and the jaw, that's our area of surrender. So we have to say, okay, I'm going to surrender and tackle that one thing that's causing my mind to be drained, that one thing. And now my mind's going to expand. I'm going to surrender, take the time, make that action step. Helps the whole body. Because otherwise that's getting in the way, and we might even use it as an excuse. This year I hired a bookkeeper to keep me on track. I'm much more accountable, me personally, if I have someone keeping me on track with my goals in any way. And I have a great producer for this podcast, because if he wasn't getting me on my weekly schedule, I might procrastinate. I would for sure procrastinate it. So having a support team is huge. But get those actions done. That connects me with number 2, again, connecting with others that are legitimately going to help you stay the course and support you through that. Tell you you can do it. Not shame you that you're not getting it done, but telling you you got this. So whatever is getting in your way of you saying, well, I can't do that until I get my room clean, or I can't do that until I start exercising, or I can't do that until I organize my office, or I clear out the clutter in my basement. Whatever that thing is, that is a story that you're telling yourself, do it. Because remember, you're not at the low vibration, you're in the middle vibration, and you want to accelerate. So you got to get those things done. Or just stop telling yourself the story and just ignore the mess. Whatever it is that works. Because when you clear that out, you're stopping the thoughts. You're stopping the thoughts that's saying, I can do it when, instead of I can do it now. That gives our mind so much more bandwidth. It frees up our thinking. And then we can get back to creativity and joy. Now we can move towards our bigger dream or goal. What else? Number 4, challenge those negative thoughts. Challenge them. Don't just allow them to swallow us up. This might be the biggest issue. Most humans have, well, all humans have issues with negative thoughts, and all of us have to decide, have to choose if we're going to sit in them or rise above them. Challenge those, because that's our internal saboteur. Now, look at our history. Take a moment and think back to the last 3 years of your life. What are some things that you've done that you feel great about? What have you accomplished? What goals have you met? And it could be starting to tell the truth more, or having a conversation with someone, or exercising again, or eating healthier, whatever it was. Let that radiate within you. We often forget all the things we've done to create a stronger world for ourselves. We can be so stuck in remembering all the things that we've done wrong. But look at all the things that you've done that are great. We're so used to noticing what we haven't done. We might be so used to being happy with life when things are going well, and then we go down that rabbit hole of feeling crappy about ourselves because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing right now. And then we become much more imbalanced. Then it's easier to stay in that middle ground and get too comfortable in the middle ground instead of going to the higher vibration. That's when the disempowerment starts to happen. So challenge those negative thoughts. A really challenging aspect for us humans is to feel happiness when our world feels like it's crumbling, when we feel like, oh, I'm just feeling shitty today, when we thought things would be better than they are, when things are not lining up, when it's taking too long to meet our goal, when we're still alone, when our marriage sucks, when our money is not flowing. Through those times, it's easier to feel the heavy burden. It's easier to want to quit. It's easier to stay in the low ground or go up and down between that low and middle ground. However, because we know we are more than just the circumstances in our lifetime, we also have to remind ourselves, wait a minute, this is just one more challenge. That shifts our thoughts, that shifts our mindset. This is just one more challenge. How many challenges have I had? How many challenges have I overcome? This is just one more. I can do this. It's time to dig in. It's time to not freeze, but you gotta partner with your thoughts. You have to dedicate yourself to challenging your thoughts. And when you use that mindset, when we even say or write it down, I'm going to start challenging my negative thoughts, the mind notices those negative thoughts faster. It just does, because you committed to it. Then you can find reasons to smile. It's time to say, I can do this. I am meant to do this. And then we got to go back to the why, right? Got to go back to that why. I was driving home from the airport yesterday. It was a very long weekend with a lot of stuff that was happening, and some beautiful and some harder. And getting in my car, going to the airport, knowing I'm going to be driving myself home at 2:30 in the morning. And I started to feel low. And then I noticed the sky. There was these beautiful rays. It was raining. And all of a sudden there was a great rainbow. Snapped my thoughts back up to, wow, all is possible. All is possible. And look at the beauty in the sky. It's easier now for me because I've committed to challenging my negative thoughts, to not allowing myself to stay in them. And now it's easier to notice the beauty and get from one state to another. But it is a mindset. Great quote that I love by Og Mandino. Use wisely your power of choice. I love this quote because it is really true. We forget that every day we have choices. And we start telling ourselves those choices, they bring us back to clarity. They get our mind back on track. We can choose to stay in a crappy mindset, or we can choose to rise above it and go to a higher level mindset. Step into strength again. One of my clients is having a lot of issues in her yard, and a neighbor that is wanting her to change this and change that. And my client has been really angry at this person, or agitated more really by this person. But what about if we take that agitation and use it to create something better? Use it to create change. Remember, that's a mindset change. Even one small thing. Wanting the neighbor to stop might not ever happen. But saying, well, actually, there's choice here. I don't have to let the neighbor influence me like this. Go into the choices and watch how you tackle the problem differently. Because now your mind expands and you can get creative again. Creating opportunity, looking at choices, that can bring huge change in how you're thinking. And then things start moving into alignment. Remember, we are here to overcome those challenges. I truly believe every challenge in our life can be overcome. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but absolutely it can be overcome. Mindset is huge. Shifting the thoughts, challenging those negative thoughts, that's going to be a big part of the battle. And then, of course, taking action, because we need action. So is this easy? Well, you're not going to like this, but yes, you're not going to like that I say that. Is this easy? Yes, it is. It becomes easy when we challenge ourselves to stop that negative chatter. Take a breath, release the tightness in your shoulders, in the jaw, and surrender. Surrender knowing that I know I need to shift my mindset. I know this old pattern hasn't been working for me, where I allow myself to sit a little too low, a little too long. And then we remember the positive things. Change the mindset. Look at what you've done that has been great. Doesn't have to be a big great. It can be a little great. Wow, I've been in worse places. I remember when I got myself out of that. I remember when I took a risk and made that phone call. I remember when I was in sales and I would make a lot of phone calls. This is just another roadblock, and I've gotten through many in my lifetime. Now I'm ready to smile at myself in the mirror, or at least stand in a power pose, because we got to have action. A wonder person pose. Those are great. Hands on your hips, feet about hip width apart, chest high, chin beautifully strong. Or raise your hands to the sky in a Y and say, yes, I got this. Use our body to help shift those negative thoughts. Jumping jacks are great. It really works. And it's much faster when we incorporate the body. The body wants to move with the mind into positivity, and it'll help us. And sometimes we're unable to move the body for whatever reason. There are reasons when we can't move for whatever reason. We can use our imagination to pretend we're moving and incorporating the body. So pretend you're raising your hands to the ceiling. Pretend you're standing in a power pose. Number 5, practice gratitude. Huge. And manage those emotions. Thank you for my breath. When we feel like there's nothing else that we're grateful for, thank you for my breath. And continue until you feel the gratitude with the inhale in the chest. We want it to be stronger than the mind, but get into the feeling too. Connect the two. There's so much beauty around us, like when I saw that beautiful rainbow yesterday. And today with the leaves, if you're in a part of the world that has fall, so beautiful. But every day there's beauty. So find something to be grateful for. Whether it's the sky or your dog or your partner or that you have food in your refrigerator. Practice gratitude, because the more you practice gratitude, now you're at least the middle level emotion. But when you're practicing gratitude regularly, you are almost always going to be accessing those higher level emotions. Easier to stay focused on what do I want to achieve. And remember, it's a choice. Choose wisely, one step at a time. Otherwise, all the things we've done become a fury and a stress ball, and we can't do anything from that point. We really can't. But when we learn to manage our emotions, stay in that place of, throughout my day, I can find things to be grateful for. It's easier to not be in a fury and a stress ball. It's easier to not feel chaos. It's easier to stay in reality. When we're grounding our bodies and feeling calm, when we're stepping into that physical alignment of 5 senses, much easier to stay in gratitude. Step outside, look at the sky. Find something to be grateful for, a person, a moment, a memory. And watch how you can get your energy from a middle state to a high state. And now you can start to go after those dreams and goals. And now I'm talking about unconditional gratitude versus conditional gratitude. There's a difference. True empowerment, that sustainable empowerment, comes from unconditional gratitude. And I mentioned this above, where we feel good even when there's crappy circumstances happening around us. That's true empowerment. Conditional gratitude means I am feeling great when things are going well in my life. Then it's easy to be in gratitude. But we want to take it higher into unconditional gratitude. So when the sun isn't out, or our partner is being a jerk, or our boss is in a bad mood, how can I get gratitude back into my body then? It's up to us. But unconditional gratitude means I am grateful for my life, even when my immediate circumstances don't feel good. Even when the sun isn't out. Even when I can't pay all my bills. I can surrender to The things that are out of my control are out of my control, and I can appreciate the good things in my life. And that's unconditional gratitude. So when I work with people on the phone or in person, I want people to understand how that body feels the higher level emotions like gratitude and the lower level emotions. So right now, if you're willing, just take a breath and let yourself relax your body. Notice where your emotions are at right now. Is it heavier? Is it hopeless? Is it hopeful? Is it confusion? Notice where you're feeling it in your body. And then shift it. So if you're in a higher level vibration, shift to a lower one. Think of something you're angry about, or think of something you're sad about. Feel it. And now go back to something you're grateful for. Go back to that feeling of joy, gratitude, something you're excited about. Notice the energy. We want to be paying attention to our physical body and how when we navigate our emotions in a healthy way, when we step into more gratitude, unconditional gratitude, the vibration of our body goes up. Now we can get things done. So it is so important to be managing our emotions. It's always okay to feel. We're always going to feel emotions. Emotions are a huge part of us. Our choice is, what are we going to stay in? Are we going to stay in that emotion, or are we going to shift out of it because we have work to do, because we are really moving our life forward? Shifting our focus to a higher vibration is key. It's possible, and that's part of the reason we're here on Earth. Number 6, create a list. I'm a list maker, but I wasn't always a list maker. It's one of my favorite things to do. Well, maybe it's not my favorite thing to do, but I really love creating a list every day because it keeps me on track. And that's either use a piece of paper, use your phone. I'm a believer in, we got to bring it in the body. So if we're typing in our phone, we're using our fingers. Remember, that's part of being in the body. Or write it on a piece of paper. Memory is better when we are using our physical body. And then refer to it. And check things off. And add things that are joyful. It's harder to keep looking at that list when everything is a have to, not a want. But of course, nothing is a have to. Remember, go back to choice. We always have choice. Nothing is a have to. But add some things on there that you want to do, like making a phone call you want to do, or stopping and getting a new book. Add some good things on the list, and add some easy things on the list. It's easier to keep going back to that list when you have easy things on the list too. Stopping and picking up dog food, whatever it is. But also remember, have things on that list that you look forward to, because now that list becomes a great part of your day, not a dreary part of your day. Or write it in colors. But having a list, and I'm talking daily list, go to a monthly list, whatever that is as well, because some things are done in chunks of time. So putting actions down, your to-dos down, is going to help you stay on track as you're working to achieve those great goals. And remember, a great goal is subjective. One of your goals might be something you're inspired by is to write a book. That's a big goal. Or it's to have a new tribe that supports you. So whatever it is, it's your goal. And make it important. Put it on paper. Number 7, take care of yourself. Commit to one thing every day, at least one thing every day. That's taking care of yourself, body, mind, spirit. One of my clients really had a tough marriage for a long time with a lot of negativity and she felt really bad about herself. Cool woman, but doesn't matter what we see on the outside if we don't feel great on the inside. So she started to tell herself 5 good things about herself every day. 5 positive statements about herself every day. And it's going to do even more for ourselves when we write it down, because now it brings it in the body more. That's one way to take care of yourself. Remember, when we're managing our negative thoughts, that's the external world, but it's also the thoughts about ourselves. So telling yourself 5 kind things every day, that's one way to take care of yourself. Drink enough water. That's another way to take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. Take a walk. Get on the treadmill, even if it's 5 minutes. Eat more veggies. Turn off your phone. Read a book that helps you manage your emotions or your thoughts better. But taking care of yourself is absolutely physical. It's also, remember, emotional. It's also, remember, on a soul level. Take care of yourself. Commit to one thing every day. You're going to feel better about yourself, and then our energy level goes up. Now we feel stronger. Number 8, with that same theme, do something you love every day, even if it's small. Years ago, a friend of mine taught me, I don't know how, this is so many years ago, taught me that get my work done and then I reward myself with something. So it doesn't mean like I'm going to work 10 hours straight and then reward myself. Maybe it's I have one project I want to do and then I'm going to take a break and do something good for myself. And that can be anything, like watching a 5-minute funny YouTube video, or playing a game with my dog, or making a phone call on a social, making a social phone call, or eating a piece of chocolate. You know, whatever your thing is, picking up a paintbrush and painting for a few minutes. Doing something that you love, something that is pleasurable. Even if it's a few minutes, but every day, something that you're looking forward to. Take a walk with a friend. Build time in every day to do something you love. That gets your vibration more sustainable in those higher levels. Because why? Because we're treating ourselves well. We're treating ourselves like we matter. Because we have to, because we're essential, because whatever we want from others, remember, we talked about this last episode, we want to do that for ourselves. So do something you love every day. Number 9, do something out of pure kindness. Remember a time when you helped somebody just out of kindness, not because you had to. How good that felt? Not because you were pressured, not because someone told you you had to, or not because you'd feel guilty if you didn't, but truly something that you just felt inspired to do out of kindness. And that feels amazing. That's sometimes the universe gives us those opportunities, like when a community undergoes a tragedy and people step up. And that does happen, and we get to have those times. But there's not always going to be big tragedies. So find ways to do things out of kindness. Hold the door for somebody. Smile at somebody. When somebody drops something, offer to pick it up. Find ways to be kind. Find ways to take action steps that are going to brighten someone else's day. Because it feels good to you, and it feels good to them. And that raises our vibration. Helping others from a place of true unconditional giving provides us the self-love and courage to also help ourselves take the risk. Truly, watch how your energy shifts when you do things out of kindness. Just kindness, no attachment to outcome, no guilt, no shame if you don't. When we do more kind acts, unconditional kindness, we have more energy. We feel better about ourselves, and our courage goes up. Now we can take bigger risks because our self-esteem just went up. Number 10, connect the energy centers in your body. Do it often. And we'll do a quick example right now. So you're going to take a breath through the nose, down the throat, let the belly expand, let the back expand. Feel your feet on the ground. The next inhale, raise your shoulders up to your ears, drop them back and down. Feel yourself settle in the body with an ah. And now close your eyes and go to your mind's eye. That's the sixth chakra, between your eyes, but in the center of your head. And just notice a beautiful indigo blue. Just a dot. Just notice it. And then with the next breath, go down to the throat, connecting that beautiful indigo blue with the sky blue in the throat. Another dot, big or small. The next breath, go to the heart. That beautiful center of your chest, mid-back between your scapulas. Notice a green, can be a dot, large or small. Taking your breath there. And then go down to what's called the solar plexus, which is the upper belly, mid-back. Beautiful yellow, the sun. Imagine a little yellow sun there. Taking the breath there. Connecting from the green of the heart to the yellow of the solar plexus. Another breath, go down to the space between the lower back and the lower belly, above the pubic bone, below the navel. Beautiful orange. Notice that beautiful orange, a dot, big or small, with your breath, connecting again from your solar plexus, that yellow, to the orange. And then down to your tailbone, your sits bones, a beautiful, vibrant red with your breath. And then the last breath we'll do together, we're going to bring it all the way up with an inhale. We're going to bring it up from the red to the orange, to the yellow, to the green, to the sky blue, to the indigo, and just above your head to a beautiful purple. Connect those energy centers with your breath. Keeps you in your body, and it clears out a lot of clutter. Remember, we are bigger than our circumstances. It's just one more thing we can overcome, and we've already overcome so much. We're grateful for knowing we have unlimited possibilities. We're grateful because we have choice. We can choose every day. Stay grateful for your breath. Connect to gratitude. Thank you for being with me today, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. Hey, listeners, thanks again for joining me. If you want to learn more about me, services I offer, who I am, please check out my website, megmichaelson.com. Also, there you can join my newsletter. I do the best job I can to send it out monthly, no guarantees. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks again for coming. I'll see you next time.